Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining me today at Juanette's Crafting Corner. Before I get started, these are some of the people that commented on my last video, and as always, I really appreciate it. And in today's video, I'm going to do a little update on my Roxy Journal of Stitchery treasure hunt. Well, I know it has been quite a long time since I've updated you on my Roxy Journal of Stitchery, Volume 4 Treasure Hunt, and I will show you what I've done previously to what I'm doing here right now toward the end of the video. So this last prompt was weaving. And so what I've decided to do is take this, it looked like a runner that you would put over a dresser. It's quite long and kind of rectangular shaped. And I thought I would trim it down, and that area where you see like a pretty good empty space, I thought I would take that area and attach it to my piece and then weave some of my favorite fabrics throughout it. Now, if you recall, favorite fabrics was prompt number 2. So with all of the prompts, I am incorporating many of them at the beginning, at the end. As we get to the end of this series, if I have empty spaces, I will take some of the other prompts and fill those spaces out. So I'm just trimming it away. It was painful for me to cut this piece up, but I knew I wouldn't use it any other way than on a slow stitch piece. And again, that was one of the prompts, was something found or a treasure. And I had found that when I was in Italy on my trip this last summer. So I'm just trying to finagle it and see exactly where I want to put it on my piece. And it just doesn't seem to go there. But as I turn it around and put that pointy section up to the top, it seems to fit in there much better. And so I decide to go with that. And so I'm going to pin it in place. Now, I wanted to update you on something that's been going on. My son, Pascal, had a birthday several days ago. He turned 37, and it's very difficult to buy something for someone who really doesn't have any hobbies. He does work. You've heard me talk about him. He is autistic. And so I said, Pascal, why don't we go out for dinner for your birthday? And, he was all for that. And I wanted to go out for steak. And so, but I said to him, I said, okay, let's go out for steak for your birthday. But if there's another restaurant that you would like to go to, just let me know and we'll do that. Well, he picked sushi, which is my least favorite food of all time. First of all, I don't even like cooked fish, let alone raw fish. but he absolutely loves it. So that's what we did for his birthday. We went out for sushi. And there's a really cool restaurant in the town we live in, Peoria, Arizona. It has a revolving, like, conveyor belt, but it's probably 4 or 5 inches in width, but it rotates all around the restaurant, through the tables and through the kitchen. And as people take things off the conveyor belt, they're all on little plates. And at the end, the server counts up how many plates you have, and that's what you're charged. So you can see what things look like as you're going by, and they keep adding, fresher and different things on there. And so he loves that place because he eats all that raw fish, which is just like, ugh, to me. So now I'm going to pick out the fabrics that I'm going to weave through this. And this is some of the French general fabrics that I used up in the hexagon area, up in that top right-hand corner. So I'm just going to tear some strips, or attempt to tear some strips. That's kind of probably against the grain there. And then iron those and weave that through. But I had also made him a dinner the day before his birthday. I made chicken enchiladas, pinto beans, and coleslaw. And then I made him an orange chocolate cake. Oh, it was to die for. It's a chocolate cake, but then the liquid in the cake is orange juice, freshly squeezed orange juice from my orange tree. And then you also put a little bit of orange peel in there too. It was delicious. So we did that. And then, and my Christmas shopping is almost done. I got the grandkids their gifts. I got Pascal his gift. I just need to find something for my daughter and son-in-law, which is very difficult because they fortunately are in a position that if they want something, they just go out and buy it. It's not like when they were first married and they were, he was going to school and they were really poor. They needed so much. It was really easy to shop for them because they needed everything. But now, it's a little bit more difficult. And my daughter, she is so sweet. She says, Mom, just buy us some movie cups at the theater we have here in Arizona. It's called Harkins Theaters. At the beginning of the year, you can buy plastic beverage cups, and if you bring them back every time you come to the movies, your drink, I think, is only $1.50. And then they also have what's called popcorn perks, and depending on how many movies you go see, you can get free popcorn. So she said, just get us the movie cups. They go to a lot of movies. They take the kids to a lot of movies, and so she said, we'll get them that. So I'll definitely get them a couple of cups, but that just doesn't seem enough. So anyway, thank goodness I don't have a ton of Christmas shopping to do. And I can't remember if I told you, but the reason I'm doing a voiceover on this is because I was watching some YouTube videos myself and I had the sound on, but I wanted to sew. So I was killing two birds with one stone. But then I thought, well, I'll just have to do a voiceover. So that's why you're getting a voiceover. So I had gotten all my fabrics that I was going to use. And I took that little craft iron and ironed them. And then I'm just going to weave them through that doily there, I use a little pokey tool to help push it through, and then I think I eventually get some tweezers to help me with that. So pretty soon I'm going to start my Christmas baking, and I love to do that, and I'm sure you guys do too. There are certain times of the year, Christmas is one of them, where that's the only time you make certain things. And one of the things that I make, and don't you guys turn your nose up on this because I know you will the minute I say it, but I make homemade fruitcake. Now, let me explain. If you've never had homemade fruitcake, you are missing out. It is nothing like the store-bought fruitcake, and my kids all love it. My grandkids love it. Oh, it is just so good. So I'll make that, and then the other thing I'll make is they're called bizcochos, and they're a Mexican cookie, and they're a cookie I grew up with. And they, again, turn your nose up on this, but again, it's only once a year, but you actually make these cookies with lard. And they are a cookie in which it has aniseed in it, and then when they come out of the oven, you roll them in cinnamon and sugar. Oh, so good. And then, oh, I also make nougatine, which is an Italian dessert. If you guys remember Big Hunks, it's similar to that kind of candy, but you put roasted almonds in it and roasted pistachios. It is made with egg whites. And when you're in Italy, I think they sell it in some other countries too, but definitely in Italy, you can buy it in bars there. And I always make that, so I'll have to make some of that. Tell me some of the things that you guys make for your traditional Christmas holiday baking. I'd be interested in knowing about that. So I'm just kind of weaving that fabric in there. I do a dark color and then a light color, and then I go back to a dark color and then a light color. I really like the way it turned out when I'm all done. Oh, I have to tell you, so many people have commented on my videos asking how my sweet Fiona is doing. And she is growing like a weed. When I brought her home, she was 9 pounds. She is 20 pounds now. She is just growing so much. Oh, and I signed her up for classes. I am doing puppy classes, then intermediate classes, and then advanced classes. I really want a well-trained dog. I don't want her misbehaving, and she is a good dog, but like I had people over for dinner last night, and I had to put her outside because otherwise she would jump all over them, and she's still a puppy, so she doesn't know, and I haven't had time to train her on just sitting still while we're eating. So, I'm going to be taking her to classes to teach her to, be a good dog for me and to behave. So I'm excited about that. That's going to start January the 3rd. Oh, and I do have to tell you though, oh, this was so sad. Bless her little heart. So I've told you that she follows me every single place I go in the house. She follows me to the bedroom. She follows me to the kitchen. She follows me to the bathroom door. She follows me to the craft room, and she hangs out underneath my desk in the craft room. But sometimes she likes to hang out underneath my chair. And I was talking to my sister Sherry today, and she was asking me about a book I had, and I rolled my chair back to get the book, and the wheel of the office chair ran over her little ear, and she yelped, bless her little heart. I mean, I picked her up immediately, of course, and started hugging and loving on her. And I mean, she's okay. It it may have hurt for a second, but I guess it's like a little kid that falls down. They hurt for a little bit and they cry and then they're okay. But she's okay. I've been, touching her ear and playing with it, and she's not yelping or anything like that with it. So it didn't do any permanent damage. So as you can see, I'm trimming the fabrics on the edges there so they will fit within that little triangle of my weaving space. And I can see as I'm looking at them, I may have to re-weave them. There seems to be like areas where it looks like on that left hand side, sorry for my hand just right there. Look at those old lady spots there. Oh, anyway, that on that left hand side there, I should have maybe gone under instead of over, or vice versa, one or the other. So I may have to redo those a little bit, but I just want to trim them up a little bit. I am excited to see what Rachel and Sarah have for us for next year. They've already told us that they're going to do another project for us to follow, and I'm really excited about that. It will be a slow stitch project, so if you guys are interested in doing something like this, make sure you follow Rachel and Sarah at Roxy Creations, and they will tell us, I think they may tell us the end of December what they're going to be doing and our prompts, or the start of our prompts. You don't get the prompts in advance. You get them at 2-week intervals. So you don't know how your piece is going to turn out. You don't know what you're going to be doing with it. You've just got to use your imagination and figure out how you want to incorporate that prompt into it. It's really a lot of fun. And there's everybody from beginners to medium slow stitchers to advanced slow stitchers. I would say Sarah and Rachel's mother, Juju, is an advanced stitcher. So sometimes Sarah comes on and shows her mother's projects, and they're absolutely stunning. She goes, all out on these. And Rachel and Sarah both, they do fantastic too. So anyway, if you're interested in slow stitching, jump on board come January and join in the fun. So I'm just going to do some small little stab stitches through these strips of fabric, and attach them, sew them down. You can see I keep moving the remote control for the TV, because then I'm sure the video ended that I was watching, and then I needed to start another video. So I'm getting some videos watched. I love my color scheme. I love the reds, the browns, the beige colors. There's a little bit of gray in there also from the stitching that was already there from the tablecloth. I don't know if you remember, this was a piece of a tablecloth that I had ripped up. So I'm really enjoying it. There is a color scheme that I would like to do on my next project, at least 2 of the colors. And Anne Brooke, I don't know if you guys follow her, She lives, I believe, in the UK. She has a YouTube channel, and I watch her all the time. And her favorite color scheme is a mustard yellow and a blue color, or blues. And that looks so good together. So I'm going to have to do a little shopping, I think, and get some threads and fabrics in those colors, because I think that's what I want to do with our next project. Who knows? Who knows what Sarah and Rachel have in store for us. It's going to be fun to see. I'm also at the end of this video. I will show you some ornaments that I made for my grandkids. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't, because Judson, my youngest grandson, he sometimes watches my videos. I don't think I'm going to show them to you. Sorry, I'll do it at another time. I'll film a little part of it and show you. I don't want him to see the ornaments that I made for them. They were also slow stitch, and again, it was another project from Rachel and Sarah over at Roxy Creations. It was, I think it was, they called it the 12 Days of Christmas, and they gave a new prompt every day for an ornament that you would slow stitch for your tree. There was a tree, a heart. Sarah did a house. There was a star, a circular ornament. They did all kinds of fun things. And I think I made some cute ones for my grandkids. Previously, I had made them either glass ones or plastic ones, and had painted them and done all kinds of different designs. If you look on my YouTube channel, you'll see the different ones that I've done for them. But their dog, Finn, broke a couple of them by running by the tree real fast, and they fell off. Oh, my daughter was just heartbroken, so, because they got broke. So this year I said, okay, I'll do, as soon as Rachel and Sarah came up with the slow stitching of the ornaments, I thought, okay, that's what I'm going to do for the grandkids for their ornaments this year. So anyway, I'm liking the way this is coming out. It's flowing quite nicely. I really do sewing. I've always enjoyed sewing. I think I started learning to sew while my mother was a seamstress. She made all of our school clothes, or most of them. And so she taught me quite early how to sew on a sewing machine, her old Singer machine. But I've definitely always enjoyed hand stitching. I took applique classes for a while, quilting classes, and it's just fun. It's relaxing. So I'm going to finish this up, and then I will show you the end of how it looks in just a second. Well, here's my piece, and I looked back to see the last time I had filmed a video of my work here, and it was when I put this on there. So it's been quite some time. So I want to explain to you what I've done thus far. So again, our first prompt was a monogram, and I put my J and my H. The next prompt was favorite fabrics, and I sewed these pretty hexagons out of those beautiful French General fabrics. The next prompt was hearts, and I did 3 hearts. The next prompt, which is what I had filmed last, was this vintage embroidery, and it was of this, it almost looks like a tulip there. Then our next prompt was trims, and I put these trims here, this one, and this one down here. And I put this kind of one here because it had this kind of a gray from the original tablecloth. So I put that in there. Let's see. Then the next one prompt was buttons, botanical or nature. I think that's what it was. But anyway, I did a button garden here. And what I did there, this was given to me by Pam at Pandora's Junk Journals, and I'm going to bring it up close to you. Okay, this was a brad, and on this I did a Portuguese knotted stem stitch, and then this, what I'm calling a brown leaf button, I did the Wheater stitch. That's what that is. And then over here on this like brown shell button, I used twisted chain stitch. And then over here, I've got these 3 kind of triangle buttons there that I had brought back from Italy. I had done bullion knots for my leaves here and part of my stem, and then I added 3 French knots up over them. This is just a pretty little, it almost looks like, oh, what do I want to call that? Pearl. There's a specific name, eggshell button. That this one, when I added this button, I just tied this string. Instead of going down like you would usually with this, I did it where I came up and then just tied a knot. This little button, I did the same thing. And then this button, this was done using cocoon, actual cocoons. And let me go grab those because those are really interesting to use. Let me put the camera on hold and I'm going to grab those. So these are real silk cocoons that have been dyed. And here's a multicolor pack. And then I got these greens and purples. And then I have some blues here. And I think these were the same. I'm not sure. I know a silk cocoon is like out of this, but aren't those gorgeous, like variegated colors? Look at how pretty those are. So what I did is I just took one of these cocoons here, one of the red ones, and cut it with some scissors and then stitched it like a flower here. And I stitched it using French knots, and then I think I did pistol stitches here. I can't remember. It's hard for me to remember what all I did, but that was, I love using those. Those are really neat. Let's see, where am I at now? I did add some gray stitching around the hexagons. If you can see it right in there. I had the red stitching and I added the gray stitching to bring out this color here. On the, this flower button here, this stitch here is called a heavy chain stitch. And these 5 buttons here. Then our next prompt was something found or a treasure, and I had found this fabric in Italy, and it is of some roses, and I cut it out and then I painted with silk thread around all the roses and then added some beads. And then for that prompt also, I added this stick pin. I'm going to bring it up close again to the camera. This was from my sister Carrie. Remember I told you she does incredible estate sales. Isn't that beautiful? So I added that onto there. Then I did some blanket stitching around this piece to hold it down. And then, I think this was for the botanical or the botanical or nature. So what I did here is I used ribbon. And what I did is I did a twisted chain stitch through here. Again, I'm going to bring it up. It's easier than me bringing the camera because the camera swings. So I did a twisted chain stitch there. And then I did lazy daisies for the flowers. And that was with kind of a off color white ribbon. And then I did stab stitches here and here with the darker color and colonial knots for that. She can't get her toy. That's why she's growling. She wants her toy. And let's see, what else have I done? Then one of our next prompts was either words or phrases. And my sister Sherry, who is really an incredible cross stitcher, did the names of my kids, Giselle and Pascal, and then my son-in-law Mark, and then each of my grandkids, Olivia, Judson, and Gavin. But didn't she do an incredible job? I mean, when you look really close, she even did with the French name here, this little accent that is, you know, done with the French E. And then what I did is I just did little cross stitches to attach it to the piece. But I really, again, that is a treasure. So, you know, both of these are from my sisters. So it was just perfect for my treasure hunt piece here. I think that's about it. And then the previous in the video, I had done the weaving here. So I've still got some room here and there for our next several prompts. And so I'm excited about that and how I'm going to finish that piece. I will probably frame it, and then I'm not sure if my grandkids will see these, but I do want to just show you real quick the ornaments that I made for them. So this one is for Olivia, and I used like a burgundy velvet, and this is tatting that I had gotten from Italy. Again, some laces from Italy and a button. This is all from Italy except for the burgundy velvet. And I sewed just a little tassel onto the end, and then some gold velvet trim to hang it from the tree. And then I stitched 3 buttons back here, and then again some lace here. So that is Olivia's ornament, and she's 16. And then Gavin's ornament is the tree. And what I did for their 2 names is I did couching for theirs, and his is a green velvet, and I did all kinds of different trims, again with some of the tatting from Italy. And oh, this was interesting. I can't remember if I told you guys, this was from a lamp that I had gotten rid of, but I saved the lamp shade, and this was dangling from the lamp. So of course, you know, I had to salvage it, but isn't that cute how that, you know, fits on there? And then I used red velvet for the top to hang it. And then I used different trims, some French knots here and different trims for the back of it. So that's Gavin's ornament. So as I was kind of setting these ornaments aside, I looked at the top of Gavin's and I realized it needed a little bit more. So I just added 3 little bells onto the top of it, and I think that finishes it off nicely. And then for Judson, I made a bell, and his I actually stitched the name, I think with a back stitch, and it's just got gold trim. Pretty simple for Judson. It does have a little bell at the end and a couple of other different trims here, and I just did some gold cording there for him, but I think they're going to enjoy these, and unless Finn gets a hold of them, and although Finn is bigger now, he's 2, he probably won't get a hold of them and tear them up, but they should enjoy these. So anyway, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. I need to look on the calendar to see if there is going to be another video before Christmas. But if there isn't, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, or a Happy Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa, or just happy holidays for you and your family. And thank you so much, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks, and bye-bye.